Here's some random stances I take. Hi, I'm Richard, the Yorkshire Atheist. So this is a video that no one asked for, of my sort of, in a nutshell, explanations of where I stand on a variety of religious and moral topics. So I'll just run through them, and here we go. I've no reason to believe in life after death. I didn't realise I hadn't been born, and I won't realise that I already died. It's the same to me. The ideas that someone holds and the person themselves are two different things in my mind. I think it's really valid and reasonable and justified and acceptable to criticise or interrogate the reasons why someone believes something, and that is separate to criticising that person as an individual. No one should believe something because it's written down in a book. The Bible, for example, I know when I was a Christian, and I know of Christians nowadays who have never read the Bible from cover to cover, who don't really know much about how it was written or put together, by whom, when, where. And because of that, I can't see any reasonable reason to believe anything that's in there until we have extra evidence that it actually happened. Wasps are proof that there is no God. Wasps are awful. Like, awful, I don't see the point of them. They're awful, horrible creatures. They prove that God doesn't exist. You shouldn't get your ideas about how to treat other people or what the right thing or wrong thing to do are from religious leaders or religious texts. It should be based on your own understanding of how it will affect other people. Be empathetic towards other people, and if nothing else, always be kind. I have no reason to believe that humans have souls, or that souls even exist in anywhere in the universe. To say otherwise, it kind of says that you have maybe some proof or evidence that it is, and I understand it as like a bit of a sort of idealised romantic idea about the soul of a person, but I see really no reason to believe that it exists outside of that religious idea of a soul that lasts for eternity. I stand very firmly on the idea that people should be allowed to have religious beliefs themselves, as long as they don't infringe on the rights of other people. I'm very happy for a Christian to believe, for religious reasons, that they shouldn't have an abortion, as long as they don't infringe on the rights of someone else who doesn't hold that same belief. This one links to my last video about separation of church and state in the UK, but I don't believe that religion should play a part in the way that a country is governed or ruled, or in the institutions that govern or rule it. In the UK, for example, we have bishops of the Church of England in the House of Lords, we have a monarch who is the supreme ruler of the church, and where prayers and Christianity seem to be ingrained in the fabric of the country as a whole. Obviously we'll see the census results soon, and they will show us, I imagine, that there's even fewer people calling themselves Christians nowadays than ever before in the UK. Religion isn't that big a deal in the UK, so it shouldn't be in our politics. Prayer works. Well, can work, depending on what you wanted out of it. Prayer, I imagine, works, psychologically speaking, in the same way as writing a diary does. So if you're praying because you want to talk to God about your problems, well, you're talking about your problems, and that helps you to deal with them. Where prayer doesn't work is when you're wanting actual things to happen in the actual world, actually. Firstly, because obviously I don't believe that God exists, and so there's no God to enable those things. But even if you do believe that God exists, I don't know why you would think that praying about something would make him change his mind about something. If everything's predestined and preordained, part of God's grand plan anyway in the first place, well, hasn't he already decided what's going to happen in every single regard about everything, ever? I find the character of God in the Bible to be repugnant and just awful. Some of the things that he does or chooses to do or sanctions are just abhorrent. And yeah, there's some great bits in the Bible, some lovely inspiring quotes and messages in there, some stories of good people doing good things, but I think it's easy to just say, oh well, the culture's different or whatever. God's standards shouldn't have changed over time, because God is God and God is eternal, is what Christians believe. Surely if things were immoral now, they should have been immoral then. And lastly, being a Christian doesn't make someone good, or being religious in general doesn't make someone good. And likewise, being an atheist doesn't make someone bad. Someone's character is defined by so many other things apart from their religious identity. And I think people often conflate the idea of being a Christian person with being a good person, and often some of the most horrible things I see, or the most horrible ways that people react to other people or situations, don't necessarily match someone's stereotypical sort of character based on their religious identity. You're a good person if you're a good person, you know, if you're kind to other people, empathetic, all those sorts of things, and that isn't necessarily matching with your religious identity. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already checked out the show that me, Richard Gilliver and Laura McGee are doing called Skeptic Hangout, please do so. It's great. We have a new episode every Wednesday, which is much more frequent and scheduled than this show here. So yeah, please check that out. There'll be a link in the description to where you can find that on all available platforms. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to that and this channel here, where you can find some more amazing content like the what you've just seen of me just sort of rambling on for a bit without really planning or thinking about it ahead of time. So yes, do that now, and I'll see you next time around. Ta-ra!